Okay, this unit, we're going to be watching lots of videos for these functions and kind of going at your own pace. So you don't have to stay 6.1 today, 6.2 and 3 next time. If you want, you get them all done out of the way today. You can watch the videos first and then do all the homework at once. It's up to you. So we're going to start with 6.1. 6.1, we're going to look at absolute value functions. So last unit we did quadratics, those U shapes. Absolute values are V shapes. And we're going to deal with 4 parent functions in this unit. So absolute value are just the first ones. And these have absolute value markers around x, whatever x has with it. Okay, so in order to figure out how to write the equation or how to draw the graph, you have to figure out, first of all, where the graph's moving, or where the equation's going to move. So that is going to come from the numbers with x, just like the vertex, and the +4. So if it's in with the x, like that -3 is, it's going to change signs. So that means it goes to the right 3. And at the end, it doesn't change signs, so it's still going to be a 4. So that means that it's going to go up 4 from the origin. So you'll count, you'll count here. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a point right there. And that's your starting point. If you already have the graph, you just have to count to that starting point. And then remember, when you put it in the equation, if the point was at 3, 4, you need to switch it. So it's x minus 3 plus 4. Okay. The next thing you want to figure out is what parent function you have. So with the equation, it's what's happening to x, like outside of the number. So you've got that x minus 3 here. So these absolute value bars are your parent function. On a graph, it's the shape. Okay? So if you see a V shape, it's going to be absolute value every time. And your parent function table will look like this. And you do the parent function on the second column. We're going to start with -2 here and just go up by 1 each time. So we always start with those 5 numbers unless they're weird graphs. And then we're going to absolute value them. Absolute value always changes things to positive numbers. Everything's positive. Even positives stay positive. Okay, so that's your parent function table. So what this is saying is that your starting point, from there, you're going to go left 2 and up 3 to graph your first point. Okay. Now, we also want to figure out if the graph is stretching at all, which is this letter A. And in the equation, it's the number before your parent function. So that x in absolute values, it's before that. On the graph, you'll have to count. So you always move to the right one, and wherever you have to go up or down for your point is your A. And A happens to your table when you're going to graph. So we're going to always times this row by A to get 5 new numbers. When you have that, last thing you do is you don't need this middle column if you change the numbers. Okay, and then you want to make sure if you're writing the equation that it looks like this for absolute value. So let's try the homework. You got absolute value of x plus 2. Now the plus 2 happens after the absolute value, so it's going up 2. So on your graph, we're going to mark some lines here really quick. So we're going to go up from the vertex, or from the origin, and that's your vertex. And to get your other numbers, we need to do the parent function table. Notice there's absolute values, so you put absolute values. We always use these same 5 numbers, and we make them positive. And then this one, if there's no A in front of the absolute value, you can use a 1, and timesing by 1 doesn't change anything. So here we're going to go left 2, up 2, so left 2, up 2, and make a point. We're going to go left 1, up 1, so left 1, up 1, and make a point. 0, 0 stays here, 1, 1, so right 1, up 1, and then 2, 2, so right 2, up 2. And connect those and put arrows at both ends. And that's it. On your tests and quizzes, I would like to see you labeling points. So So like 2, 4, 1, 3, you get the idea. So you need to have those points labeled and arrows. Okay, let's take a look at the next problem. These are both coming from your homework. So the next problem, number 11, we've got a graph given, so we need to write the equation. First thing you do is look, okay, what parent function do I have? What shape do you see? I see a V shape, which means absolute value. So I start with this guy. Okay, HK comes from that turnaround point vertex, which here is -2, 3. So when you put it in the absolute value, we're going to switch the sign because it's with x, and then the +3 doesn't change. And then we're going to count. From here, we go right 1, and you have to go up 1 to get to that point. So A equals 1. And that's it. Writing the equations are super easy. Okay, go ahead and you can either start watching the next video or you can do some of the homework for this so you get practice. But you do have to get all the homework done by, let's see, not next class period, but the Thursday and Friday before winter break.